It's very quick negotiation, a very tight corner. Normally taken somewhere, I'd say, between 45 and 50 miles an hour. Gone there not very much slower than that in pouring rain. Moreover, this is the sort of pace that Colin Bond could keep up for 500 miles or probably 1,000. He's very gifted, very determined driver.
So the order of the cars in the 6th lap is Colin Bond in the Tirana first, Peter Brock at Tirana lying second, John Goss in the Ford GT in car number 2 is third, followed by car number 11, another Tirana driven by Bob Morris, and then Tony Allen in the Chrysler Charger is lying in 5th place. So we have Tiranas lying first, third and fourth, with a Ford GT in 3rd place and a Chrysler Charger in 5th. Murray Carter in the Falcon GTHO, and you can see the condition of the surface off the track there. It's very difficult even for the driver to negotiate with such wide wheels to get back onto the track, but now he's on and we'll see him accelerate now. This is Murray Carter in the Falcon GTHO, but he's dropped well back in the field through that incident, having gone off the track.
Well, it's Murray Carter, a man who leads a life never devoid of incident. And that's Carter again. Done it again. He enjoys active motor racing, and he's been racing in fact for quite a while. You'll see here the enormous care required to return to the circuit, no matter where you might have been in before. He's come unglued there on that very slippery section where Gary Campbell had his accident in his Lola 330. Lots of puddles there, very slippery. I would feel now that Murray Carter is going to be rather cautious for a lap or two until he works out which way the river is actually flowing.
And it doesn't appear as though as much rain is falling now as was the case a few minutes ago, but it certainly had its effect by leaving a lot of water on the track, and you can see the spray being thrown up now, and there are a few of those puddles. But this track is not in a good condition through the conditions, and here's an upset for one of the Holden team drivers. Peter Brock is into the fence, and I doubt that he'll be continuing for a while, and it looks as though he'll have to stay there, because even if there's no superficial damage or mechanical damage to the car, it's going to be very difficult to get the car back onto the track from that position. In fact, I'd say almost impossible.
I'd never underestimate the power of a Brock, frankly, and the car, I believe, could be retrieved. On the other hand, what we've seen demonstrated there is one of the unique hazards of Warwick Farm, which is its dependence on and its interrelation with the horse racing course. Those tubular steel fences are not very pleasant things, fully capable of being turned into spears if you hit them in the right direction. And Brocky was really rather lucky that he was driving a closed motor car and appears to have hit that fence broadside rather than head on.
So while we're watching Murray Carter, a change in positions with Brock off the track, Colin Bond still the leader, and it's John Goss in the Ford GT who's moved into 2nd place.
Well, it's becoming a fairly eventful race, not least due to the weather. Murray Carter has entertained us on several occasions already at this stage in the race. He's been off the road twice, and here's the man who's not made one mistake to date, Colin Bond, looking very composed, the Tirana looking magnificent in full flight, launching itself out into pit straight now, race virtually at half distance.
And at half distance it is. The leader is still Colin Bond. In 2nd place, John Goss. In 3rd place, Bob Morris. 4th place, Don Holland. And back on the track, Peter Brock of Victoria. So he obviously was able to get out of that very slippery turf, and we'll just wonder how many positions he can pick up from now, although it is indicating he could be making...
Yes, there's a typical Fiat action. The various Fiats that are racing in this race are no respecter of persons, and there was a little 128 Fiat Coupe going round the outside of such an exalted personage as a Holden dealer team driver, not to be gainsaid. Now what's happening here, and you can see that the Holden dealer team boys are not completely prepared for it. I feel he's at least getting the car inspected. He may possibly be... Yes, well, there's the simple explanation. A little bit of panel work, a few suitably applied levers, and a little bit of pressure, I would feel, and we may have the mudguard removed from the tyre and Brock return to the race.
Well, Brock wants to waste as little time as possible, and we'll just wait for these other cars to go down the track safely, and no doubt we'll see him scoot out of the pits and get back into the race as quickly as possible. Well,
in a 20-lap race, an incident at the 10th lap like that is not really going to do your chances much good. What we might possibly see here from Peter Brock, although he's not really that type, is now going to be a demonstration of Tiger, where he'll just turn it on, regardless of the fact that he's the best part of a lap behind. He'll now just start to perform for the sheer hell of working his way back up as best he can.
Peter Brock still trying desperately to catch up the leeway that he lost halfway through by leaving the track. But still Colin Bond in the second Tirana XU1 of the Holden dealer team is leading the race. John Goss still in second place. Bob Morris in another Tirana XU1 in third place.
A fair amount of traffic in there for Peter Brock. He's got Fred Gibson and Alan Grice ahead of him there in the S's, and I think he's starting to get a little excited about the fact that they weren't moving over. And that was Alan Grice, in fact, that's come unglued shortly after that, and gets his white Tirana back on the road again with a minimum of delay, in fact.
Well, in 10 laps of this race, we've seen more cars leave the actual racing surface than in any other race today, and I think we can attribute that back to probably to the fact that we've had so much rain in those 3 or 4 minutes after the race began. Colin Bond overtaking another car in the Escort driven by Lyndon Arnell of Queensland. .29 seconds is the lead that Bond has established over Goss.
Bond looking very much in command at this stage. The Tirana's now quite well sorted racing sedan car. Bond in that characteristic fashion, head slightly back, relaxed arm movements.